Today. It is stormy here today, but it's been like that. We're in hurricane season in Florida, so it's our rainy season. So I have storms all around me right now, and as long as there's no tornadoes, I'm okay. I lived in Oklahoma for 16 years, so I had my fair share of experiences with tornadoes. One was right over my house in the country. So, but I digress. Today, I'm going to talk about downsizing your dreams. And why do we do that? I guess the question is, why, if you're doing that, why are you doing that? Why are you downsizing and putting on the back burner maybe? That's one way of looking at it. Hi, Felicia. Good to see you. Glad you're here with me. We either put it on the back burner or we do something else that might be related to our dream slightly, but it's going after it like indirectly. We're not really going after our dream, but we're kind of has a little taste of it, but we don't have that satisfaction of doing what we want to do. When I got the first job, I was a receptionist and legal secretary and was learning everything. And I was thrown, I had no choice but to throw myself into it wholeheartedly. I figured I might as well give it the best shot. And the people I worked with were super nice. And they knew it would take a while to catch on. So, but I knew pretty quickly that I wanted to be in a different area of law, one that kept me really, really busy. But I didn't really want to be a receptionist forever, and I knew I would still be answering phones, but I didn't want to have to always, it was almost too diverse, where I like my paralegal job to be diverse, but I don't like to be pulled into three different jobs like I was. But it was where I had to fly by the seat of my pants, and you will too when you go into your first job. So I always say, like, buckle up and get ready for that ride, because the first 2 months can feel crazy. But if along the way you're saying, okay, I'm learning, writing it down in your notebook, what you're learning, so that you don't have to keep asking the same questions, and you're realizing just how much you've learned in that first job. So this notebook is everything, and have your own private notebook that you bring with you to work. Nobody should be looking in your notebook. Very important to not go, oh, I can't possibly achieve this. Let me tell you, somebody that just came into my class has an opportunity. They're from my neck of the woods in the Northeast, but they had an opportunity arise. Who would have thought that an opportunity would come out of the clear blue sky? But it's never out of the clear blue sky. As you saw in a post I posted, I believe it was yesterday, God has a plan and a purpose. It's the girl walking, or the woman walking through the cave, going towards the exit to the cave and going into her purpose. So you never know when that opportunity is going to come up, and that's why I'm always, for lack of a better word, preaching that you have to be ready. You have to grab hold of as much knowledge as you can. Learn how to use Google when you're researching for questions you have in your mind. Become that person who can find just about anything. When you have a question, the first thing should be go to Google. See? So, but this person has an opportunity to go after something, and it's worth going after. There's no downsizing of the dream with that opportunity that shows itself of a job. And if you go step back, that's when the regret happens, and that regret will not leave. So the last thing you want to be is, one of my mentors says, you don't want to be a 90 or 100-year-old person, if we live that long, that is sitting there full of regret. So yes, and what stops us? What makes us downsize our dreams? It's fear. It's the unbelief that this can possibly happen, that something good can possibly happen. See? So, hey Sophia, good to see you. It can happen. It's already, I've seen many of my students land jobs by taking my advice. You can go your own way, but don't downsize that dream along the way. Don't settle. You know, one of my former students got into a first job before she took my class. And no, that's nobody's fault. It just happened, right? But when you go through the things in my class that are red flags that I talk about, or things you want to be aware of when you're interviewing, it's very important that you get into the place that's good for you, that's a healthy place for you, and that comes by you asking questions. And I give you a lot of those questions to ask, okay? Because the interview is about you as well as the people that are wanting to hire somebody. So you want that to be a good atmosphere, a good vibe for you. So don't step away from the dream. I had no idea in that first job what the paralegal was talking about, what the terminology the attorneys were using. What I did was I took a legal terminology class at the local college because they offered it, and I thought, I can't do anything but help me. And it just, something started to make sense. But what's cheaper to do is just to go to my website at paralegalcoffeetalk.com and get the legal terminology bar chart. You'll see it there. It'll say bar charts. That will help you. Every step you take towards the goal will help you build your confidence level. Not to being overly confident, you have to be somewhere in the middle. Not underconfident, overconfident, somewhere in the middle, because you will have a tremendous amount to learn. I've had people say, I've worked in this area, not in legal, but in this area, doing XYZ, and I can't get hired by an attorney. That is because you're not communicating what you know how to do, and how will you help the attorney? That is, you know, you've heard me say this over and over again. We have to be able to address that in our own minds first. How will we help the attorney? And that's the question that should drive you when you're learning more about areas of law and what paralegals do in those areas of law. See? And it's much more than that. A lot of books don't teach you the practical every day. Okay? But my class does. And the students that are in, I have 2 classes going on right now. And someone just came in today and is already plowing through the class. Step by step, you learn what the attorney wants you to know before they will hire you. And you've got to be able to communicate that in person and on paper, okay? So don't be like the English teacher who always felt they had a book inside of them. They always wanted to write a book. And here they are, experts in English, literature and grammar, and they never took the time or had the belief in themselves to sit down and start fleshing out that book. The book that they have felt they wanted to write, maybe since they were a teenager. And maybe that's you too. But don't downsize it. Don't say, oh, I'm just so busy. Here's what happens when you're in a career right now and you're looking to switch. And this is why I'm doing the videos I am in the Paralegal Hub. If you're part of that, if you're not, you can scroll down and look to a graphic that says Paralegal Free Goodies and sign up there, and then watch a few of the videos I have. I'm still working on video 4. There's a progression here mentally when we make this switch. And that's the danger part, is we can start to say, oh, I don't know. And that's fear raising the ugly head. Hey, Sophia. Oh, thank you, Sophia. That's kind of you. Step by step, you get there. But what if an opportunity, just like this very nice woman who's been in the class for a week or two, and an opportunity arises. So do you take it or do you back off in fear? We have to look at it seriously. I had to look at interviews as practice. If I came in second many times in interviews, I never always got the job. And yes, that can be frustrating, but I had to keep putting my head down and keep going. And yes, it can be frustrating, but you have to apply the right way. And I was doing that. I didn't do it for a while until I figured it out. And that's part of what I teach. But you've got to be able to help the attorney. And that's that's like one of these moments, you know, and in my life. And that's why I'm passionate about teaching all this to you guys, because I want you to have that opportunity to build something for yourself that gives you flexibility, that your first job won't be your last job, that you practice, even if you don't get the job, you practice those interview skills until you nail it. And most interviews are not 100% perfect. Don't expect that. Don't beat yourself up too much. But applying the right way and answering that question I keep bringing up, how am I going to explain that what I can do to help that attorney? Customer service skills are absolutely needed. But that honestly is just tip of the iceberg. It is a foundation skill. It is a major skill. And a lot of people don't have it, even in the legal field. So if you've got that, that's bang. So pat yourself on the back for that one. But that alone won't get you the job. There's all these little nuances and not so little nuances in the job. It's not a simple office job, but it's worth having, and it's worth getting it the right way by protecting yourself and asking the right questions in that interview, putting out the best cover letter you can imagine that will raise your cover letter to the top of the pile. Believe me, I have experimented with this a lot. So take my class. You can go in right now if you want to, or you can wait till the 15th and join then. It's up to you. Hey, Bridget, good to see you. So there are plenty of people that, for instance, they knew that their calling was to be a singer or a performer, yet they put it on the back burner for different reasons. They might have had a family and felt that they couldn't do it, but they could have done it part-time. But they completely put it on the back burner. Don't do this with this career. Go for it directly. Don't go for it in a different way where you just maybe do something close to it because of the fear that's there that's keeping you from going, I can do this. It's a battlefield of the mind, right? It's a battlefield of the mind. And so you want to be as prepared as you can be for that or those opportunities that then all of a sudden come up and are waiting for you. But if you're not ready, you'll feel regret. And I don't want that. Don't downsize your dream and don't have regrets in your life. Go after those things that are calling you, that God is pulling you towards this for a reason. What is that reason? I have no idea. That's between you and Him. But if He's pulling you towards it, it would behoove you to go towards it and not downsize it for your own well-being, your own benefit for the future, no matter what age you are. Don't put that barrier up. There are enough barriers we face as we start moving forward. We don't need to erect our own. Don't add barriers that don't need to be there. So age is not a barrier, no matter what you want to dream up about that. It's what you bring to the table in this career. It is absolutely what you bring to the table. So keep that in mind. No barriers that don't need to be there, okay? And I wanted to share that with you today because we can be overconfident or underconfident. And you want to be in the middle as you strive to learn more. And when you start to have doubts and there's fear there, that's perfectly normal. Every single person went into this career, now wrap your head around this, with zero experience. Every single employee that broke into the legal field went in with zero experience. So they're not turning away from you because you lack experience. They're turning away because you haven't shown how you're going to help the attorney. Period. End of story. Okay? So come join us in the Paralegal Inner Circle class if you can. I would love to have you. Registration, you can go in now if you want to get a head start, but the official registration is the 15th through the 22nd, and it ends at midnight on the 22nd, okay? So have a great Thursday night. I'm going to sign off because there's a thunderstorm heading my way, and I'm going to get back to my home office. So have a great Thursday night. Do something for you. Keep moving forward, and you'll get there. All right, take care. Bye-bye.